Just moved in my new house today. Moving was hard, but I got squared away. Bells started ringing and chains rattled loud. I knew I'd moved in a haunted house. Still I made up in my mind to stay. Nothing was gonna drive me away.
Well, here we go. Another setup day. And it's the big day, one I've been looking forward to, and the wife cusses every year. The blacklight room. Getting a late start. It's about 1 o'clock, and we just got home from running our errands. And the wife's been out here already working on the Gypsy display. And we're just going over to kind of take a look at it. She hasn't gotten it finished yet, but she's gotten a lot done.
I figured you would say that.
Oh, good God.
I was trying to hide the row of lights.
Problem is you're going to be blocking the lights too.
No, it should shine right through it.
You hope, but we'll find out. She got the tarot cards going. It looks all crowded over on that side of the table though, and there's nothing here.
Well, I can bring the cups and that down further.
Yeah, or move the gourds over or something, I don't know. But anyway, she's been working on it. It's looking good. Oh, her skelly, by the way. That's her original cloak. And put it back so you can see the skelly face. You might want to tuck the cloak back a little bit too, so it's out of thing. But it's a start. Was there any problems getting the cloak on the skelly?
A little.
A little? Yeah, it's kind of I have it a little bit too far back in the corner, but I didn't want it out where people would trip over it. But anyway, that's our start. We'll give you some more updates as we get going on that water room. Well, I warned you guys it might be a very uneventful vlog, short vlog, what have you, and I was right. Been messing in the sewer room off and on all day since we got home working on our errands. So far, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and another one up there not plugged in yet on top of the wall. 6, all 6 of my fluorescent black lights in. So far, I just turned those on in order to test the bulbs when I was putting up the clamp light there. I've got those installed. We ended up having a problem. Went to install this fluorescent tube and dropped one end of it on the skelly's head, and the tube blew up. We had glass shards all over the liner down there. Doesn't look like any damage. I got it all swept up. But we got that in. And then I've been working over here, and it's probably a little too dark to see, but on my atomic bubble tubes that I made. They all have their dye in them, the water in them, and they're hooked up to the air pump. Air pumps just need to get hooked up to power. I do not have the lights in them working yet. That's all low voltage stuff. I am not even anywhere near doing low voltage stuff. Top it off, it's been about 52 degrees today, pouring rain, and I am freezing my ass off out here. God, it is so hard to believe. At the beginning of setup, we were having 80 to 85 degrees. I was out here barefoot setting stuff up, and just a mere 25 days later, I'm bundled up in a coat, and I'm thinking about getting my winter coat on. Anyway, we had a problem come up, another problem, and it's been, let me grab it here, with this big boy. It's a 1,000-watt fogger. And hold on, let me set it there, since I'm going to be working over here anyway. I just fell back into the barrel. I'll aim the light over that way. That'll help a little bit. Then you guys can see. All right, where'd you go? There you are. Now you can see me breaking things, huh? Okay, get a better hold of it. There we go. But the 1,000-watt fogger, I had originally planned, since this barrel is off the ground down there, of putting this underneath the barrel with the Scooby-Boo board that will be controlling this area, because this will be tied into the Scooby-Boo board. Problem is, it don't fit in this underneath the barrel. Not a big enough space. There's barely enough room for the Scooby-Boo board underneath there in the container I have it in. And this display does require some fog. Not a whole lot, but some. And wife and I have been out here batting it back and forth. What we decided to do is on top of the wall here, I'm going to create a shelf on the Gypsy side. And we're going to install the fogger up there, and I'm going to pipe a hose down the wall into this barrel and have it triggered with a Scooby-Boo board. So that's basically what I'm working on next. You know, I'm just basically running around with my head cut off in here right now, just trying to get everything wired up and whatever. And right now, see, I've got the atomic fuel rods. I've got to get their power to them so they bubble. I got to get power to that fluorescent light up there, power to the Scooby-Boo board, power to this, and it all comes down that corner and meets underneath this barrel, and then runs clear over there, and you can probably see the junction hanging down. That's where it plugs in at. So I'm trying to get my 110 connections done here. And then once that's done, I've got to get the fan and those two blacklight tubes plugged in over there. And then the motor for the leering skeleton and the other blacklight tube get hooked up to an extension cord and actually run over into the torture chamber and get plugged in. And then we'll have all the 110 done. That's basically what I'm focusing on tonight. If I haven't turned into a snowman by then, or an icicle, one of the two, I still need to get the pumps for the wall, leering skeleton, and that dog plumbed in and wired up. And then I still have air lines to run for the water blasters, you know, and getting them weighed down and what have you, and getting the 112 from the solenoids for each of those ran over to here, because this is where they're going to be controlled from with the Scooby-Boo board. Still got that to do. Once that's done, we can fill the ponds. I hate to say it, it's almost dinner time. There's no way in hell we're filling ponds tonight. I'll be lucky to get the air lines ran. I'm definitely going to get this fogger into place, and I want to make sure all the 110, regular 110 stuff is done today. The rest of the stuff shouldn't take all that long. And it's probably going to be, I don't know, I'll probably get in here tomorrow after taking a look at what all the black lights look like, and I'll be able to get my ultraviolet, my black light LED floods positioned in here where they belong to. So, but right now, that's pretty much what we've been working on all day long. Not a lot of progress to show. Doesn't feel like I've done a lot, but then I look at what I need to do, and I was like, hey, I got something done. Okay, boys and girls, this has been more of a project than I thought it was. I think it's going on about 10:30. I am wasted, and I don't feel like I've gotten very far today. I will show you what I have gotten done, though. As you can tell, things are glowing pretty good. We got all our black lights up. I've got 6 of them, fluorescents. So all the AC black lights, I should say, are up in and around the room. I've gotten 1 water blaster set up. I got my weights in, the water blaster hooked up. And let's see if we can focus in on it with the zoom. Where is the zoom on this camera? Solenoid and stuff is right there. I still need to run the airlines yet. Haven't gotten that far. The other water blaster is laying right there. Hasn't been hooked up. I was going to start doing that, and I stood up and damn near fell over. And it's just like, oh God, I gotta quit. I gotta quit. Barring that, we got the leering skeleton together. He still needs his water pump yet, as does Morgan's fountain over there and the wall. And I've got an emergency repair to do. I do have the fan blade set up and running. The motor is running, and it ran for about 10 minutes. Then the blade stopped turning. Went over and looked at it. The shaft spins nice and freely and everything, but it appears it's come loose from the motor. And there's 2 ways of fixing that problem. Both of them I'm not looking forward to, and one's easier than the other. First one is to take that wall down, which means I would have to take the pond out in order to get the wall down. Not an option. I'm not doing that. That would put me about a week and a half behind. The other option is back in the back, my foam wall panels do not go all the way to that corner. Though the partition walls do. It's just that canvas, about 4 feet of canvas back there. That I can actually take the canvas loose and get in behind that wall that way and take a look at it. Now I'm thinking it's one of three things that's wrong with it. Either the shaft has come loose, that holds the fan blade has come loose from the motor, which more than likely it is, but it shouldn't be. I went and drilled a hole through the bracket and the shaft and put a bolt in there, but the bolt sheared off and came loose. You know what? Anyway, it's either that, or the plate I mounted on the welded onto the back of the flange. The welds are broken and the plates come loose, or the little nut that holds the plate onto the motor has come loose. It's one of those three things. Now I've got a choice. I can either get in back behind that wall and try to fix it, you know, if that blade is turning, or I can just leave it as is because it looks kind of cool as is. But anyway, so we had that problem happen today, and as I mentioned earlier, I was putting this black light up and dropped it and broke the bulb. So I had to make a panic run down to Walmart and pick up a couple of more fluorescent tubes. I picked up 2 just to play it safe. When I start breaking light bulbs, I usually break them in 2s. Another small problem I've got with the water tubes. You notice I got the black lights on. Black lights are hitting them. They ain't glowing. I think my problem is the dye. I went and put way too much dye in them. And the light's coming from above, and I think it's being blocked partially too. But I think I have too much dye in there, and that's why. Easy enough fix. I just need to drain the tubes and start over. Not a fun project, considering these things are mounted to the wall. That one there and the other box are easy. Just a screw. I pop the screw loose, they tip over. So I could just, you know, basically tip them over and let them drain. And then refill them with water and put less dye in it. And I think this time fill them up with water first, then put the dye in. I actually went and put the dye in first, and I think I added too much. But they are bubbling, and it's a fairly easy, straightforward fix. Before I do anything with them, though, I'm going to bring in some of my UV spotlights, my low voltage, and I'm going to put a series of them in here, shining right up at them, and just to see what the effect is. Because all the black lights are coming from above and everything, and they're not real close. So I'm going to see what happens when I add when I add my UV spots to it. Plus the light from the UV spots is slightly different from the what the black light puts out. So it might be a little bit different. But if you buy any of that Wildfire dye, water dye, which is what I'm using, buyer beware. The stuff is extremely potent. Be very careful how much you put in. It's better to put in a little less than put in way too much. And we're going to be doing that with the pond. I'm probably going to put like a 1/4 cup of dye in the water, and then we'll check it at night, see what it looks like, you know, with the pumps and everything going. And if it's not enough, I'll add just a touch more and a touch more, and go that way till I get to the way I want it. You know, instead of going, well, half a bottle of this pond, half a bottle in that pond. No. A 1/4 cup is all I'm going to do. The other problem I had was with this barrel, and I think I mentioned it in the last segment. There's not enough room underneath of it for the Scuba Boo board and the fogger. And we tried taking the Scuba Boo board out and tried putting the fogger in, and even still, there wasn't room for the fogger. So my fix, and it was fix that we came up with, and it was actually partially an idea of my wife's, is over here. I actually cut the roof, and we put a shelf up here, and I've got the fogger sitting up there with a long hose on it. And what we're doing is, you might be able to see the hose there. It's a little dark. it feeds down into the barrel. When we decided to do this year, it was too late for me to do a foam top for it like I did with the leering skeleton over there. So people can walk by and, oh god, it's just an empty barrel. Well, we're going to have the fogger tied in to the scuba boo board. And I haven't gotten the wires ran for that yet. But while the scuba boo board fire, and we'll let it run for a while. Come back over this way here, and they get fog out the barrel. Really nice effect. Nice thing is, it fills up this room a little bit, and it also goes over into the gypsy room and the ghost hall. So you get double action effect, and it's kind of a nice effect, and the kids can play in it, you know, as they're going by, you know, waving their hands around. So we got that done. What's left to do in here? Actually quite a bit. I gotta get my low voltage lighting in. I've got to get the sensor for the scuba boo board mounted, which was something I was supposed to do tonight, and I got sidetracked with the water blasters. Let's see, low voltage lighting, scuba boo board sensor. I got to run the low voltage over here for the lights. I got the other water blaster to do, and I got 3 pumps to put in and get wired up for the fountains. And then I got water to put in. So I'll probably be in here all day again tomorrow, and hopefully by the end of the day tomorrow we'll have water in the ponds. Just no dye in the ponds. Not until I've let them sit overnight to see if they leak. But that's pretty much what's on the docket for tomorrow, and I forgot to turn the fogger off. It's a-going again. I don't want to burn up all my fog juice. There we go. But, ooh, foggy. Warm fog, too. It feels good. It's cold out here. At least it stopped raining. But, anyway, that's pretty much where we got to today. Not as far as I'd wanted to, but just get out here early tomorrow. I don't have any errands tomorrow. I'm fine. All I know is this has to be done tomorrow. I've got the witches display and the exit hall I gotta get done. And I'd like to get those done tomorrow as well. And then Sunday I could come through and start getting curtains in. That's almost an all-day project as well, hanging the damn curtains. And then the whole haunt needs to be cleaned. And then we got the VIP stuff Monday night. So, anyway, I'm going to let you go. You guys have some fun. Stay spooky. Jelly donuts. Stay toxic.